Welcome the fall, our fall convocation, the First Nations University of Canada convocation. I just want to say on behalf of the First Nations University, a special thank you and acknowledgement to the elders that have lifted the pipe this afternoon to start things off in a very good way, in the appropriate way, and as protocol demands. And with that, I say thank you very much to the pipes that were lifted, offering prayers to everybody that is celebrating today to make sure that we keep your families in mind, and also those that are sick in health right now, that we lift them up, and also those that are grieving at this time. As we're all here observing a virtual convocation. And I also want to say a special land acknowledgement. Of course, we're here on the Treaty 4 territory. The lands that we sit on right now is ka Miigwech Dim. Of course, the Red Dog singers are right here at this time. And we want to say a special thank you very much, Miigwech, right here at the First Nations University, Star Blanket Urban Reserve, territory of the Cree, the Nagawe, Dakota, Lakota, Nakota, and homelands of the Métis Nation. And convocation is a very exciting time. It's a culmination of all of your sweat, all of your sacrifice, and all of your hard work. And today, we want to wish you a happy convocation, a huge congratulations. And what better way to do that than to provide some of those through song. With that, Miigwech, if you can go ahead and take it away with a grand entry. That said, we'll roll right into our flag song with 2 push-ups and followed by a victory song. Thank you very much, ka-amigos at the team. Take it away. Ginanaskubit na, wow, tunay ko es miota wala na ba kapag maski ko itaw na maski gay yon may ita ko sues kami maski gipiti na no umami ko aska ako snano. You know, I just want to say it's just an incredible feeling and an honor to be able to listen to that drum. It's a drum that brings medicine to all over the place. It's certainly right here at the heart of, you know, for our First Nations University of Canada. You know, my name is Simon Bird, and I'll be your MC for our convocation. And it is my honor to be able to introduce you to our president of the First Nations University. And of course, by way of introduction, Dr. Jacqueline Ottman is Anishinaabe, the Saulteaux First Nation from the Fishing Lake right here in Treaty 6 territory. Prior to her academic career, Jackie, or Dr. Jacqueline, was an elementary, high school teacher, and of course a principal as well. She remains an engaged scholar to this day, alongside her responsibilities as a senior academic leader. And no matter which organization she goes to, she brings her best. And while at the University of Calgary, she was a coordinator for the First Nations Métis and Inuit undergraduate teacher education program, where I had the honor to have some coffee and a good discussion when I too was out there for a short time with the Stoney Education Authority. And as one of her responsibilities of Indigenous engagement was building relationships right there in Treaty 7 territory at through the Workland School of Education, or WSE. She has also co-chaired the WSE Indigenous Strategy, and alongside the provost, and of course the university-wide Indigenous strategy. After her time at the University of Saskatchewan as professor, as vice provost of Indigenous engagement, Dr. Jacqueline Ottman was appointed the president of First Nations University of Canada. Dr. Ottman has been recognized as an international researcher, advocate, a change maker. Uniga Anu, as we say in our territory here in Cree, is a leader, somebody that is in the front to make a way for the rest of us coming up. And that's Dr. Ottman is definitely here to transform the practices and to be more inclusive of Indigenous leadership, methodologies and pedagogies. The way we see it and the way we tell how we see it. Methodologies and pedagogies, in case for those folks that may not know what those terms are. Dr. Jacqueline Ottman is driven to create schools and communities that foster a deeper sense of belonging and also an appreciation for Nihiawak, and as a term for all Indigenous people, their histories, what they have been told and taught to date about our identity, to be confident, to be proud, our different ways of knowing and being. Dr. Ottman is also the very first Indigenous person to become president of the Canadian Society for the Indigenous Study of Education. So with that said, I want to make sure that I pronounce this properly. Mizoeska Megok. Pepo Motang. Of course, that is Nagawiwin, and that means the thunder that has an impact and can be heard all over the place. With that said, I want you to put your hands together wherever you might be and welcome our very own Dr. Jacqueline Ottman. Wow. We'll do one of these.
Simon. Anina neduna maganatuk. Nizoek megok pepa motang dizanakas. No chickenozea ning donji. I am so grateful to be sharing in this celebration of your accomplishments today. My name is Jackie Ottman, and I'm president of First Nations University of Canada. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome, graduates, family, friends, staff members, dignitaries, and honored guests that are joining us virtually. On behalf of the Board of Governors and myself, I want to acknowledge Elder Sidney Kay from Kwakatus First Nation for lifting the pipe and for the prayers that were offered today for this particular celebration. Thank you to the Red Dog Drum Group for the wonderful honor and flag song. We are here today in celebration of First Nations University of Canada graduating class fall 2021, which consists of 79 graduates from various disciplines, 11 masters, 42 degrees, 1 diploma, and 25 certificates. I would like to convey to each one of you my sincerest congratulations on this tremendous achievement. I am so happy for you. You are graduating in the midst of unconventional and extraordinary times, but events such as your graduation provides us all an opportunity to celebrate and to be excited about the future. I understand the commitments and the sacrifices that you and your families have made for this amazing feat to be realized. I vividly remember the first time that I entered university in 1983. I also remember the excitement and exhilaration that I felt when I did get my degrees. Because of your perseverance, your grit, your hard work, you have walked through a door into a space of more opportunity. I encourage you to continue your educational and life journey with resiliency and tenacity. We need your brilliance, talents, gifts, and aspirations. A phrase that I use during times like this, one that reminds us of our connection to the past, is that you are hope realized. Elders and leaders from generations past have hoped for us. They hoped 7 generations into the future to where you are, to where we are today. They hoped that we would lead healthy, strong, and fulfilled lives. We honor all who wish the best for us, and we honor those children not yet born 7 generations into the future by living in good ways, by sharing our talents and Creator-given gifts, by contributing to our communities and societies in meaningful, important, and life-giving ways. I want to welcome you into the family of First Nations University of Canada alumni. You are part of a growing number of Indigenous peoples who have graduated from this institution, which began in 1976. Each of you are a part of our success, and you contribute immensely to our efforts to be the best place that we can be for Indigenous students in our communities. And finally, I encourage you to inspire as you've been inspired, by being a role model for your community and by encouraging others to commit to work towards their dreams. I hope you enjoy this momentous occasion with family and friends in safe ways. Take care and stay healthy. Gitche miigwech.
And congratulations again. Very good job. Again, Jim Miigwech, Ki Chim Miigwech, Ginanaskamitan, Dr. Jacqueline Ottman. It's an honor to be part of this very special celebration and a message, just really a message from experience that Dr. Jacqueline Ottman has really brought to this organization. And you know, in the world that we live in, sometimes our elders, they're talking about walking in both worlds. And many of us have had to leave our communities and to hope that we can someday come back and repay and reconnect the gifts and that responsibility that we have as Indigenous people. You know, I myself, I'm hoping to have a doctorate soon, someday, as I'm currently studying, taking a doctorate in Indigenous language revitalization. And one thing that our Indigenous researchers are doing, you know, such as we have our president here, is they're setting the tone of how Indigenous ways of knowing are valid ways in mainstream and dominant society. They are just as valid as any other way of knowing here in academia, we call it, in universities. So I just want to say a personal thank you for trailbreakers such as Dr. Ottman. Thank you very much. So with that said, I want to, we're going to go to a special message from Lieutenant Governor of Saskatchewan, His Honor, the Honorable Russ Morasti. And of course, Russ Morasti comes from Mistahe Sagaiganik, the La Ronge Indian Band, in northern Saskatchewan. And of course, his first language being the Woodland Cree, Nihidawak. His grandparents led a traditional life, fishing, hunting, trapping, just from the land. It's always hard work and always very rewarding work, and very humbling when our elders are able to pass that same work ethic. Of course, his mother modeled that work ethic, and from her and his grandparents, of course, the value of that work ethic learned from the land, generations and millennia, being able to apply that in modern day society. That is what we hope for from our our convicants and our graduates. The importance of hospitality and of course community service embodied through another trailbreaker. Russell Morasti has joined the Royal Canadian Mounted Police in 1976 and was one of the only 2 Indigenous candidates in his troop. He served in various roles across the country, including as the Director General of the National Aboriginal Policing Services and as Commanding Officer for the F Division. Over his 36-year career, Mr. Morasti was posted to 7 provinces here in Canada, performed duties in every province and territory, and participated in exchange with the Northern Territory Police Service in Australia. He retired from the RCMP as the Assistant Commissioner in 2013. Following his retirement, Mr. Morasti continued to devote himself to the residents of Saskatchewan by helping lead the Students First engagement process with the provincial government. The valuable perspectives shared during the process informed the development of a province-wide education strategy that is still being implemented today. Mr. Morasti served as a member of the League of Education Administrators, Directors, and Superintendents, and as a board member of the Community Safety Knowledge Alliance. He was appointed to Saskatchewan's advisory group on poverty reduction and served on the board of the McDowell Foundation, which supports research, inquiry, and definitely ways of knowing, bringing an Indigenous perspective there, for sharing information for the K-12 education system. In recognition of his outstanding contributions, Mr. Morasti received both the Queen's Golden Jubilee and also the Diamond Jubilee medals, as well as a Meritorious Service Medal. His Honor leads a very active lifestyle, regularly practices, of course, skiing, running, and also snaring, trapping, fishing, and hunting. He and his wife, Donna Morasti, have a home in La Ronge, and I've had the honor to be able to connect with Russell Morasti when I was out in La Ronge as the Director of Education. And he is, folks, a genuine, humble man, and the same man that you see in our big assemblies, the provincial government, is the same man you would sit across having a cup of coffee and asking for some advice on how we can better serve our fellow Indigenous people and all people as best as we can. So with that said, I want to say thank you very much, and here's a special message from His Honor.
Hello everyone. Tansin wa homarantik minanto timitik. Kitatamaskat na ogakido. Greetings to all my friends and relatives. Thank you for inviting me to take part in your virtual fall convocation. I am joining you from Government House in Regina, which is in Treaty 4 territory and homeland of the Métis. My thanks to the Elder for the prayers and the Red Dog Singers for the honor song. I congratulate each person who is convocating this fall from First Nations University of Canada. Your success is the result of your hard work and commitment, and you can take great pride in your achievements. As you move forward on your career path or pursue further education, I encourage you to incorporate community service in your plans. You have much to give, and we need your leadership and contributions. I wish you the very best in the future. I would also like to acknowledge and thank the university faculty and staff, as well as the family and friends of the graduates, for the key role you have played in their lives. Finally, I wish to express my gratitude to the First Nations University of Canada for preserving and sharing Indigenous knowledge and for providing a culturally supportive environment for Indigenous and non-Indigenous students. In closing, it is my pleasure to bring greetings on behalf of Her Majesty, Queen Elizabeth II, Queen of Canada. I would also like to share these greetings in my first language, which is Woodland Cree. Elizabeth II. Canada.
Oh, thank you very much. His Honor, the Honorable Russell Morasti, our Lieutenant Governor here of Saskatchewan. And I will now introduce our next special guest, our delegate here, the University of Regina President and Vice Chancellor, Dr. Jeff Keshin. Of course, by way of introduction, here at the University of Regina, President and Vice Chancellor assumed the role of President and Vice Chancellor on July 1st, 2021, and is the University of Regina's 8th president. He joins the university after serving a 3.5 years as Vice President in Memorial University's Grenfell campus in Corner Brook, Newfoundland and Labrador. Previously has served as Dean of the Faculty of Arts at Mount Royal University in Calgary. He has also served as the chair of the Department of History at the University of Ottawa and was an adjunct professor in the Center of Military and Strategic Studies at the University of Calgary. Dr. Keshin holds a doctoral degree from the York University with a research concentration on the history of war and conflict. He has been the recipient of the Government of Ontario June Callwood Award for Outstanding Service in Volunteerism for his success with the establishment of the University of Ottawa's Experiential Learning Service. He was a double nominee for the 3M National Teaching Fellowship Award and was awarded both the Ontario Leadership in Teaching Prize and University of Ottawa's Excellence in Education Prize. Dr. Keshin is the author of 5 books, more than 25 scholarly articles, and has edited 11 books. His book, Propaganda and Censorship in Canada's Great War, was awarded the best nonfiction book by the Writers Guild of Alberta. And of course, it was also shortlisted for the Humanities and Social Sciences Federation of Canada's Harold Adams Innes Prize for the best book in social sciences. His book, Saints, Sinners, and Soldiers, Canada's Second World War, was shortlisted for the Raymond Kilbansky Prize for the book for the best book in the humanities, a prize awarded by the Social Sciences and Humanities Federation of Canada. The book was also recognized with the C.P. Stacy Prize for the best book in military history category. Dr. Keshen lives in Regina with his wife Deborah Moynes Keshen and his children Jacob and Maddie, who both attend the University of Regina. With that said, video please.
Hello, I'm Jeff Keshen, President and Vice Chancellor of the University of Regina. Thank you so much for inviting me to bring greetings from the university on this very special day. I want to begin with the respectful acknowledgement that the University of Regina and its 3 federated colleges, the First Nations University of Canada, Campion College, and Luther College, are situated on Treaty 4 lands with a presence in Treaty 6. These are the traditional territories of the Cree, the Saulteaux, Dakota, Lakota, and Nakota peoples, and the homeland of the Métis Nation. Today, these lands continue to be the shared territory of many diverse peoples from near and far. When making this important acknowledgement, I'm always reminded that the First Nations University of Canada occupies a special place at the University of Regina in these territories and indeed in the country. Since the First Nations University of Canada was founded in 1976, its faculty, its staff, and its students have been dedicated to a noble vision, and that is to enhance the quality of life and to preserve and to protect and interpret the history, the language, the culture, and artistic heritage of First Nations. This is a concrete and meaningful vision and a legacy that this year's graduates of the First Nations University of Canada will carry on long after today. It's a legacy and a responsibility of which you should all be so proud as students and going forward as alumni of this great institution. On this Convocation Day, you have a great deal to reflect upon, to look forward to, and of course, to celebrate. You've sacrificed a great deal to pursue your education, and in doing so, have honored those who have come before you, been an inspiring example for those around you, and made a commitment to a brighter future for those who will come after you. By honoring the past, the present, and the future in this way, you have made a positive impact on many others, including the faculty and staff who have supported you throughout your educational journey. As students, you have been an important part of the First Nations University of Canada and the University of Regina, and I hope that as alumni you continue to contribute to the life of these institutions. Your education has prepared you well to make a positive difference in the world. In the coming years, please take every opportunity to use your energy, your creativity, and your belief in the power of education to make that difference. On behalf of the University of Regina, congratulations to each and every one of you. Thank you for choosing the First Nations University of Canada and the University of Regina for your post-secondary education. We are both better institutions because of the gifts you have shared with us. I wish you all the best in the years to come.
Five, four, three. All right. Thank you very much there to the University of Regina's president. And now we take you to a section of our program to acknowledge the degrees, diplomas, and of course the certificates. But at this time, before I do, I want to just pay special acknowledgement to our educators, those that show us the way, which literally, that's what the translation for teachers mean, and instructors. And one of those instructors was the late Joanne Goodpipe of the Standing Buffalo Dakota Nation. She was an assistant professor here at the First Nations University in Indigenous Business and Public Administration. She was a committed teacher and administrator who dedicated many years of service to First Nations University staff, students, community members. It is with definite a sense of loss that we have to experience this with people that are so close to this family of the First Nations University, people that have continued to sacrifice, continue to invest in the the betterment of all our people through the buffalo that we talked about during treaty signing, and with of course those programs that we have at the First Nations University, some of those being through the Faculty of Arts, Faculty of Business, Faculty of Education, Faculty of Kinesiology and Health Sciences, Faculty of Science, Faculty of Social Work, and also the Center for Continuing Education, Faculty of Graduate Studies and Research. With that said, thank you very much. Take it away. Oh, thank you very much for the acknowledging all of our convicants. Be very careful how you say that word. They're not convicts, they're convicants. All right, so the valedictorian address is brought to you by Kyla Kerr, Bachelor's of Indigenous Social Work, right over there, Nuti, at Gistapinanik. That word, Gistapinanik, was given another name, Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. But if you break down that word Gistapinanik, that actually means a permanent settlement. You know, we have various permanent settlements where different indigenous groups would come along and do a lot of trading. And so that's definitely, the Saskatchewan River has definitely been very vital to, of course, nation-to-nation exchange of course, teachings and also goods, traditionally, definitely before contact. You know, by way of introduction, you know, valedictorian here is graduating with a Bachelor of Indigenous Social Work, finishing the program with a grade point average of 85.14 and earning academic silver scholarships in 2019 and 2020. During her time at school, she completed practicums in Valley Hill Youth Treatment Center and the Ministry of Social Services, both of which occurred during the pandemic. Kyla is thankful for her experience at the university and to all those who have helped her succeed. Beyond school, Kyla has adopted her very first dog. Good choice, good companion. And back in September 2020, a black and white Labrador she has named Oreo, or as some of our elders would have said, black and white. Kyla has started her career at the Ministry of Social Work, Social Services, and plans to pursue her master's degree in the future. So with that, video message.
My name is Kyla Kerr. I'm from Prince Albert, and I'm your valedictorian this year. The fact that I'm not able to say that entire sentence in Cree is something Elmer Ballantyne would definitely be disappointed in. And I was asked to make a short video for our virtual graduation, and I must admit I was a little intimidated. How am I supposed to sum up 4 years of education, give or take, without being either too dry or too cliche? It's also just a lot to sum up. Whether it was 4 years or more of your life, that's a lot of living. And you sure can cram a lot of learning, growing, and healing into those years. I feel like that particular blend of experiences is something unique to FNU, and something I know I will forever be grateful for. This school was a place to reconcile the intersections of identity, culture, and family, to learn as much about yourself as you did about sociology and history. My experience at the First Nations University is one of belonging, of challenge, and of broadened horizons. All of the teachers, faculty, elders, and fellow classmates were instrumental in making this educational journey a rewarding one. A person always felt supported, no matter what. Teachers giving out their cell phone numbers so we could text them our questions or our anxieties if we were having nervous breakdowns about an upcoming test was nothing out of the ordinary. It's the little things like this that I feel make our experience enriching in every aspect for a student, in mind, body, and caffeine-fueled soul. These years were full of memories I will always hold dear. They've given me friends for life, and of course, an exceptional education. But not just the kind of education where you regurgitate textbooks verbatim, but the kind that teaches critical thinking and empathy. I know that we have all been gifted the tools to become great social workers and to continuously learn and grow. I hope you all take care of yourselves as you develop into your mightiest social worker and settle into your futures. Remember to extend the same gentleness to yourself as you would to others. especially as we finished a whole degree during an ongoing pandemic. That's nothing to sneeze at. We should all be really proud. I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to everyone who helped us achieve this goal and supported us along the way. Comforting a stressed out student in the middle of finals is no easy feat. But I don't want to bore everyone too long, so in the words of my personal hero, Elle Woods, we did it!
Oh, thank you very much, Kyla. And just want to bring our program, of course, to our alumni address. And of course, that's by Jacob Pratt, a Bachelor of Business Administration from Cody First Nation, or as we say here in these territories, Cody's. Jacob Pratt is Dakota and Anishinaabe from Cody's First Nation. During his time at First Nations University of Canada, he was involved in nearly everything at the university and made it home for 5 years. At one point, literally living in the school with many fellow students as a form of protest when the funding was pulled by the federal and provincial governments. With that, we say Miigwech. We say thank you very much for leaders like you voicing the very, very real concerns of our people. And we need to acknowledge Jacob and the alumni that have done this. Again, trailbreakers. Jacob started his first company, Wambi Dance, and won the 2016 National Entrepreneur of the Year Award. All as a result of the amazing education he has received. He was the very first student to graduate with a Bachelor of Entrepreneurship. In 2015, after graduation, he went on to pursue a Master of Science in Social Entrepreneurship at the USC Marshall School of Business and started his current company, Skoden Entertainment. Now, Jacob, you might want to check out Skoden. I've heard it being tossed around on social media. There might be some copyright infringement there. But I'm sure you are doing a wonderful job knowing the leader you are, and there is room for a lot of our people to go into the business and share ideas. Of course, his startup company, his startup is growing and has clients like Disney and LA City Council, while also producing their own content. All of what Jacob does is credited to the lessons learned at First Nations University, having those roots to be able to grow into the leader he is today. With that said, there's a special live message. Thank you very much, Jacob.
Hello everybody, my name is Jacob Pratt. I'm Dakota Ojibwe from Cody First Nations, and I'm class of 2015. I want to congratulate all of the graduates this year. I know the hardships and challenges you faced along the way. Going to any university is difficult. There's so much to learn. Yeah, there's so much cramming that you have to do before every exam. You end up being a broke student, sometimes scraping for money. It's filled with challenges that you face on a daily basis. But I want to congratulate you because today you guys have all made it past all those challenges that tried to slow you down or stop you from achieving this amazing goal of earning your degrees or your diplomas or your master's degrees, whatever it is that you're after. And I can honestly say that I'm proud of each and every one of you for getting to this point. I had the honor of going to school with people that I didn't know that became friends, that became family. And I know that's the kind of experience you probably had as well at First Nations University. I started there and got to know a lot of my fellow students, and we had a very unique experience because while I was there, the federal and provincial government tried to shut down the university. But us as a group that were a part of the student association at the time, we banded together and we worked really hard for about 8 months to try and save the university, which we were, successful in, obviously, since you're graduating. And, that experience really shaped me. First Nations University is like a home to me. Not just figuratively, but literally we lived there for 72 days. So it is literally one of my homes that I will never forget. And I'm so happy for you guys to be getting your degree from the same place I am. This is a home that has nurtured us, that has given us opportunities, and that will continue to help us. First Nations University is where you went to school, but they'll always be there. Your professors are more than our professors at the First Nations University. Out there's professors looking at you as you're graduating, remembering that day that when you first walked in the doors and you were so new to the experience, and now they're proud to watch you sit where you are today. And that's an amazing thing. They're so proud of you, and I know it. And I have to say thank you to all the professors that helped me, and I know helped you, because they're so important to our, to our futures. And, I'd also like to say, my condolences to the families and those students who were so close to Professor Goodpipe, who recently passed away. She was a big part of my education, and I'm sure many of you knew her or were close to her. That's a terrible loss. Going back home to the university, it'll feel a little bit different knowing she's not going to be there. So my condolences to the family of Joanne Goodpipe. It was hard to hear that we lost her, because she was a big part of my education. And to you students, this is a great day. This is an amazing day. Enjoy this, because you will remember this moment for the rest of your life, when you surpassed and achieved something that many people don't believe we can achieve. Being a Native student, we're faced with so many challenges that non-natives don't have, and our likelihood of graduating high school is so much lower, let alone achieving a degree from a university. So today is an amazing day, and I'm so proud of you, and you should all be proud of yourselves for getting to this point and doing this, achieving this amazing goal, and this is the end, perhaps, of your education, or the start of your master's degree, or the start of your career starts tomorrow. Whatever it is, this is the end of your time as a student, maybe, but the university will always be there. And from this point on, you have an amazing future ahead of you. And I'm excited to see what many of you do. Many of us from First Nations University stay in contact with each other, and we keep track of each other. So I'm excited to see where you go, because you're going to do amazing things that your 14, 15-year-old self didn't even know was possible. So today is a day of celebration for you achieving these amazing goals and opening yourself up to a whole new realm of possibilities for your future, for your family, and for your people. Today, I'm happy to say welcome to the First Nations University alumni, and today's the day when everything gets started. So congratulations again. Thank you very much, everybody. Congratulations. Goodbye.
Hey, kinanaskabit na there, Mr. Jacob Pratt, for the alumni address. And now we're going to be getting a special message, greetings from our Board of Governors. Our Board of Governors here by none other than your chair for the First Nations University of Canada Board of Governors, Miss Pete Lambert. Miss Loretta Pete Lambert is a mother, an aunt, grandmother, and wife. She is from Little Pine Cree Nation, Treaty 6 territory here in Saskatchewan. Loretta's education includes degrees in education, a Juris Doctor in law. She is currently a practicing lawyer. You know, those that speak on behalf of others is a common term for lawyer, and has taught elementary, secondary, and post-secondary classes in their respective schools. She possesses professional teaching certificates from the provinces of Saskatchewan, Alberta, and British Columbia. Loretta is a proven successful education administrator. She has managed and coordinated the creation of the website, one of my very own favorites, the www.creedictionary.com. Google that up. And there's currently a online free dictionary. Of course, the archiving of Cree language-based dictionaries by none other than one of our instructors here at First Nations University, Dr. Eric Wolvengrave, and also Dr. Earl Waugh from the University of Alberta. Loretta Pete Lambert was an elected board member of the Greater Catholic School Division and an appointed board member of the Many Nations Cooperative Board. Her experience on these boards shows proven success in governance and leadership. With that said, Loretta Kinanaskomitnan, you take it away.
Dansi and good day. We come together to celebrate another achievement for First Nations University of Canada. This is the 4th virtual graduation. While we may not be able to hug each other, shake hands, we can in spirit acknowledge the milestones for those achieving and receiving their certificates, diplomas, and degrees. This is a good thing. My name is Loretta Pete Lambert, and I'm a member of the Little Pine Cree Nation. We certainly want to welcome you, and we want to give you the good tidings that come from the board. I am the chair of the Board of Governors for the First Nations University of Canada. The board is made up of enthusiastic and caring professionals who believe in the development and the future of our people, the First Nations people of Canada, and more specifically, the people from Saskatchewan. We celebrate their achievements, but also those who have completed all their degrees, their diplomas, and other distinctions. This is another step into the development of our people. I want to acknowledge, first of all, the elder who lifted the pipe for us this morning. His name is Elder Sidney Key. He's from the Kawakatus First Nation, and he offered the prayers for today's celebration. Also, we'd like to acknowledge the Red Dog Drum Group who offered the honor songs and the flag songs that were heard today. And we also like to thank and acknowledge the Honorable Russ Marasti, the Lieutenant Governor of Saskatchewan, for his message that he brings today. And also to the University of Regina President, Dr. Jeff Cation, and of course to our newly minted President, Dr. Jackie Ottman, who provides the congratulatory remarks from the First Nations University of Canada. Today, First Nations University will be granting designations to 79 students, 79 graduates. And of course, this is done through the University of Regina. And the First Nations University has 11 master's students. We have 42 degrees being achieved, 1 diploma, and 25 certificates. These are great achievements for those people who have completed their program. As you go home today to your home fires and share with your family the blessings that you have achieved today, may you encourage them and be a role model to them as they going forward. Miasin, kinanaskum na kistawa kakiritagohteg. This is a good thing. May you continue to be blessed as you go forward from here. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that message, Loretta Pete Lambert, on behalf of our Board of Governors. And at this time, I ask everybody to stand on their feet to bring honor wherever you might be joining us from, to all of our graduates and, of course, all our instructors and our staff members here at First Nations University. We ask Timga Migosid, our Red Dog Drum Group, if we can have 2 push-ups, please, and thank you very much. Megwich. Victor, Sean, Kelsey, thank you very much, of our Star Blanket First Nation. You know, there's no greater feeling than to be by that drum, feeling everything that it has to offer. Of course, the next best thing is listening to it wherever you might be from. Standing through technology or off in the distance, but standing beside the drum brings good medicine. And I want to say thank you very much again from myself as your MC for this year. My name is, again, Simon Bird, and feel free to check out, of course, hashtag Cree Simon Says for daily Cree lessons. And currently, I am living out of province, pursuing a doctorate in Indigenous language revitalization. You know, with that said, I just want to say thank you very much for this opportunity, to the staff, to the organizing committee, and of course our students, for trusting that we can all do this together. And wherever you are, stay safe. And I hope that we see you and live at our next First Nation, of course, University of Canada convocation, wherever that might be. And I hope it is live and in person. Aho, thank you very much. Megwich, Egusa.